don't get any on the wood.
Now Jacob's getting ready to pour. He cleaned these slabs, did it all. The customers, Ken and Jennifer, they wanted a small river, 37 inches wide by 8 feet long, and they're gonna put river rock. We're gonna put river rock in it. So what we're gonna do first is we're pouring a layer of black. And we're pouring the first layer of black, and that gives it a base, and then it hides all the C channels and stuff we're gonna put in there, and then we'll put the rocks on top of that. What you don't wanna do is put the rocks in it first, then pour epoxy over it, because you gotta surface the bottom, and then you'll be surfacing rocks. So that is the reason that you wanna do a black layer first, and then we'll do clear on top of this. Now this is the Login 2, so we'll pour it and let it set for about 2 days. And what Jake is doing also is that was 1 3-gallon pour right there. So we're gonna, let's see, he's got about half that left. So yeah, we'll just do this 1 3-gallon kit, and that is it. Let it cure, put some rocks over it, then we'll seal the rocks and seal the live edges before we do another clear pour on this one. And the reason why we'll be sealing the rocks and all the live edges, because we're gonna do a clear pour, and then when you do a clear pour, you're sealing any type of chances of air coming out of the wood and the rocks. That creates micro bubbles. So that's why we'll seal everything first before we do a clear pour, because we want to minimize all those micro bubbles, if that makes sense. Now that does it. That's going to be the end of our day. I'm going to clean up before my wife gets home of the bathroom and all that kind of good stuff. Wyatt's getting ready to get out of school. I know he's going to want to pop a couple of tiles, and then we will go on that tomorrow. So you guys have a good one. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the morning. What's up, guys? So I'm down in this beautiful little area down by my house, and it's a creek, and this is where we're going to get all the river rock for the table build for Ken and Jennifer. So we're down to a little creek under a little bridge, and we're going to pick up all this rock right here. So we collected the rock now, got it in the sink, and we're just going to rinse everything down and clean up as much as we can, all the dirt and grime and all that kind of good stuff off these rocks before we lay it down into the table. And we'll let it dry off overnight and stuff. And tomorrow we'll place them all into the table, and then we'll seal them with epoxy before we do a flood coat. Morning. What's going on, everyone? So now we're going to fill up Ken and Jennifer's table with rock. Now they wanted a small river. This is 37 inches wide, so they wanted a little small river and put river rock in it. So yesterday you guys saw me put river rock in it, and I went and grabbed a bunch of river rock, and we got cool stuff like this guy right here. This has a fossil on it. So I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's a little fossil of a shell on there. And I got a few of those with some fossils. And what I'll do is I'll put those facing up, and I'll scatter them all throughout in here. And then once we got the rock and everything in there, we are going to, man, my phone is messing with me. We will seal it with our art resin, and then we'll seal everything, the live edges and the rock, before we do a clear pour. All right, so now what we're doing is we took some art resin and coating everything, even the sides, the rocks, everything has to be coated. See how these little dry spots right there? By the end of the day, there will be no dry spots, because if there's any dry spots, it will create micro bubbles. So we want to seal all the pores as much as we can on everything. So Andrew's just going to sit here and just paint his little life away over here and brush on all the epoxy, and going to seal all of this up before, and then tomorrow we'll come back in and do a clear pour. That's going to look cool. Morning. What's going on, everyone? So now everything is sealed, right? We went in, sealed all the rocks, sealed all the live edges. The reason why we do that is because we're doing a clear pour. And so that will minimize any type of air bubbles that will come through, the micro bubbles that'll come through the pores of the wood and the pores of the rock. So we got to seal it all first before we do the clear pour. So that's what we're getting ready to do. Andrew just stirred up some epoxy, and we're going to make this final little pour here. And then it's cold out, so it'll take about 3 to 5 days for the epoxy to cure, so it won't be until later next week when we take this out of the mold. Ah, way cool. See? Crystal clear. Look at that. In there. That's going to look so cool. This feathering right in there in that wood is going to look amazing. And then we drop some little bit of rocks in there. All the feathering in these slabs just look beautiful. Even threw little rocks in that right there. So this is cool. So now we'll wait about 5 days. Probably Wednesday. We'll probably demold this on Wednesday. And we will then sand to 3000 grit and polish, so we can get this back to clear like that. And then they're gonna want the natural look, so we'll oil the wood and then we'll polish the epoxy.